Welcome to another McLogo video, and this time again we're doing a VRS sprint race. It's week 6. This is Okayama, the Okayama International Circuit. Not so well known, but to iRacers it's surely well known because this is one of the tracks that you at the beginning have to race in the Mazda MX-5. I kind of like the track. It's pretty narrow, but still fun, and you drive it with high downforce, so it's pretty easy to drive in my opinion. So this is a 25 car race. Strength of field was 1572, so I'm the top car. I should have a good result or I will lose I rating easily, but let's see. I'm actually keeping the lead car in my view that I can accelerate, like here, try to not lose any positions, and we're off to the start. Now in the inside there's the Ferrari that kind of tried to sneak, but I managed to stay in front. And there's already a pile-up, as you could hear in the chat. I've had a chat activated after the race, just in the replay that you can hear what the others are saying.
I'm not sorry, boy. Why you hit the brake so hard?
Yeah, it kind of often happens, unfortunately, in the beginning of the starts when you go into the first turn on Okayama. Even happens in the MX-5, so it's the same here with the GT3s. I was a bit lucky here that the blue Ferrari was kind of caught in a drift. He lost 2 places, and that gives me a little bit of room, also degrees. Really? And again you hear the others, because I guess there was another pile-up at the back. The guy in front is just basically really fast. He was the only guy that actually ran, was it 127 rounds? And I think we're three guys in the race that do 128 rounds here in this heat. So actually, if if I can keep mistakes minimal, I should be able to stay here in front. We've already got a slight lead. I'm still taking it pretty easy.
Move, boy. Sorry.
Still taking it pretty easy. And just trying to kind of drive a nice line, but not push or not go any risks. 40 minutes on Okayama. There's not that much places where you can rest. I mean, there's a short straight, but I feel like the races on these tracks are a little bit smaller, that feel smaller, tend to be a bit more intense with more corners, and this is something in between. It's not super intense as others, but still it's kind of you have to do a lot of laps, and I kind of feel it's easier sometimes to drive on the larger tracks where maybe a lap takes 2 minutes around-ish, and than on the small tracks where you go around in under 1.5 minutes. But I like the track, as I said. It's kind of just fun to race, especially with the Lamborghini. I think the Audi and the Lamborghini have got are really good here because on power they're just easy to drive or to be fast. While I guess the BMW and the Ferrari, well, more or less the BMW, are the cars that are a little bit pushy, kind of struggle maybe a little bit more with pace. And I've got a Ferrari following me. I kind of have a small gap, but I also thought if he's faster, normally what happens often is the Lamborghini stays pretty much, or the pace stays, and you can be faster, as it doesn't burn the tires, or the tires do not fall off, or you do not lose that much on that. And with a lighter car, you normally get faster. And I feel that often that Ferraris or even also BMWs are slightly faster in the beginning of a race, and as the race progresses they kind of have more understeer, I feel, or I guess this is what happens, and the pace kind of doesn't increase that much with a low amount of fuel as it does with the Lamborghini or the Audi. And because this is now pretty much similar, we jump forward a couple of minutes or quite a lot of minutes, and as you can see I'm still behind the guy in front, and at the back it's still the same guy also. It's the Ferrari, and but the gap is stabilized. I could drive always pull a little bit out, and I felt also, if I'm pushing, that I can widen the gap if needed, but I'm not actually pushing. I'm still driving, maybe at 95% or of what I could, or 98%. And what I also do often, I slightly ease off the gas, as you can see in the curve, and then apply the brakes. Just to give the car a slight moment to settle for the brakes, as I have seen in a video that Patrick Richter did from Using Racing. You do kind of save fuel if you just do this consistently, and the car should stabilize and you shouldn't be actually slower. So I'm just trying it here. As I also thought, the Ferrari might have a kind of a better consumption, so I guess he could maybe stay out one lap more, and I just want to have save enough fuel to maybe have not to go in earlier, or if I go in earlier, then there should be enough fuel inside that I don't lose time with, or at least maybe I lose time if I do a mistake, but I won't lose any time in comparison to him. And so I'm just slightly easing off the gas, actually not lifting and coasting, but just easing off the gas earlier and then applying the brakes. And the run pretty much after maybe 20-25 minutes is really about consistency. Just staying consistent, lapping, and so far I was able to do quite a lot of 128 laps and a couple of 129 laps, the slower ones. But so far no mistakes, no major mistakes, nothing where I lost a lot of time, so that's fine. By the way, this is also something that I said that I wanted to practice in future, to just be consistent, and I did lap a lot, and I did try to focus on consistency, not so much on the raw speed or just not on these laps where you actually win or crash, just to get used to drive the car consistently fast but not overdrive it, and that's basically what I'm doing here. Still, I was really enjoying this race, even so far it was really no fighting whatsoever. I just was in P2 and also P1, it's just in front, P3 after the early overtake where the blue car, Flanders car, fell back. It's just basically trying to be consistent, not do any mistakes, lap faster as the other cars. And as I said before, with these high downforce setups, it is actually easier to drive the car into. It's harder to spin the car. So, for example, a Road America setup, or even a Spa setup, maybe, or something like on these large fast tracks, they're actually can be trickier in some situations to drive, or maybe in a few parts of the track, because of the lower downforce. At the same time, to actually be consistently on Okayama, there are some points, let's say when I'm doing my laps, that you have to kind of hit, or you should be consistent, where we are kind of near to an off track, or to maybe not spin. If you get on the grass, yeah, you could spin if you're turning in at the same time. But like this passage, it's a little bit early. Hit the inside, and here go over these two parts of the track, and also here track out wide. I mean, it should be basic already. I'm learning just to drive the car, use the whole track, and also learn which parts you can use to even broaden this, or to optimize it. I think I could track out here, there, even more, and also here. You can hit that green part at the end and kind of go over the grass slightly, as long as you're going straight in a straight line. But it's also, risk, and at the current state of the race, I do not have to go full speed. I do not have to risk a lot, so it should be easy. Or let's say easy, I just try to stay consistent. And as I'm also using the Racelab app on the right side that you can see. That's a good indicator for me, that shows me always how I'm driving relatively to the guy in front and the guy at the back. I can also see when I'm having a faster sector, or where I'm losing. And of course, with different cars, this can be different also with the different drivers, of course. Also, I always have some parts that are faster, but also the overall, I can see if I'm catching the guy in front, or if I'm being caught by the one following me. So it really helps a lot to just focus. I'd rather have this, where I can see, okay, yeah, somebody's getting near. Yeah, you shouldn't get nervous when somebody gets behind you. That's, I think, also something that just need to get used to. But what I do not want to use is a lap time or something that shows you the plus or minus that you're doing, because then I always try to push maybe the next sector. If you have a red sector and lost maybe 2/10, try to compensate by doing another sector faster, and that may result in a off-track or crash, or even, yeah. I try to avoid that. That's why I'm racing playing with this, just with the comparison and the relative to see how things are progressing. Also, the telemetry that you see here, I also don't use that during the race. I kind of try to get used to this during practice. I know the inputs normally that I have, that I know how much I need to brake normally. Just for my rounds, of course. No, I'm always talking about my skill. It's not the perfect, nor not the optimal how it should be. By the way, I'm also currently upgrading. I'm using a direct drag wheel, but with a very basic play seat challenge, and I'm currently waiting for a rig to arrive. We'll have to build, and also new pedals. I'm still using CSL Elite pedals, which I really like. they did really, although they work good for me, but I feel like with the rig with something fixed, and I'll be upgrading to the Club Sport V3 pedals. I feel like, first of all, the immersion will be greater, and I like it, and I hope to be more consistent. If everything is just snug and fit and doesn't move, and also the brakes can be adjusted a little bit more. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Also, mounting the DD2 that I'm using into that fixed rig. Yeah, it will be awesome. And if maybe in future I might also have a face cam or something, or a cam that shows the rig while during the race. Yeah, but let's see. But maybe 2 weeks time I should be able to use the upgrades. So as you could see, some have already gone and pitted. P1 has been going to the pit, and I think also P2. And here I hadn't had a bad entry. It wasn't super good, but a lot of the guys were breaking in the first bend already, so they lose time. And I should actually be good here because I have been saving a bit of fuel if I can hit the marks, even but it's really slow. And here I'm doing a stupid mistake. I lost 2 seconds at least. But I'm very confident that first of all the gap was large enough, plus the saving of fuel. I didn't have to refuel, and as you can see here in the footage that shows the car from the outside, it was enough. The Ferrari still a few seconds behind. He did catch up because yeah, I lost these maybe 2 or 3 seconds in the box. Would have been bad if we would have been close. That's something that I still have to practice. Better box pit entries and the optimal braking. I'm braking too late, and I could have just easy rolled in, even braked. You don't lose with that tactic, but you lose if you go too far like I did. But at this stage, I was pretty much confident that my car should be faster. As with a little bit used tires, I do not lose pace, and I've got a light car. And the Ferrari actually does lose a little bit of pace over time, as I said in the beginning. And also, I was overall faster when I wanted to be in this race. That's why I was pretty much confident that I actually didn't push too super hard here. Now, one thing that I saw in the first race when I did refuel, because it's a short track and you don't use a lot of fuel, I think it's 2.6 or 7 for 1 lap, if I'm not quite sure. But this means if you refuel, or what happened in the first race, at the end I came I finished the race with about 0.8 left in the tank, or 0.7, and if it goes down too much, if it's less than 1 liter, then the car can start to stutter and you lose speed or lose pace in the last part of the lap. That's why I was still a little bit still using the fuel safe tactics, because of course what Racelab, what the calculator does, is it does calculate the laps based on what I've driven before, and if I have saved fuel so far, then it will also give me less fuel. So that's why I'm still actually using the same tactics, not changing that. I'm just not trying to burn super lot of fuel, but I guess anyway it should be enough. I've also got an indicator in my sim dashboard that you cannot see here. It actually shows me the amount of fuel, and also when it goes down and gets critical. It's a really nice thing. It starts to blink and it's red, so you see, okay, hey, now I've got to pit in, which helps a lot. Something you can also do with the crew chief, of course, that he tells you, hey, pit now, this is the last lap that you can come in. Basically, the sim dash does the same. It just shows you the second last and the last lap that you're on, where you should pit in. So I'm still, if you look at the relative, Gucci in front. Slightly nearer to P1 because he, of course, has eased off, and P2 isn't catching me. Easy if I do not do any mistakes. I should be able to drive this home safely. Of course, P1 is too fast and too far in front, so no chance of catching him. Just enjoying the few last laps. And we're all green now in the relative sector, but maybe for this part, well, at least that's fine. And as before, just keeping the pace kind of up, but not risking anything. I think it's something I heard from really good racers to, if you're in this situation, just keep the pace as it is, don't change anything. If you slow down, or if you say, yeah, I will drive safe, you will rather do a mistake than if you just drive it as it is. This so far was a really fun race from the consistency. I enjoyed it. As I could see that I could kind of keep the mistakes to the minimum, just a few things that weren't good, but if I was looking at the pace, I was really happy with the overall race pace. But of course, yeah, it's also an easy track, so, and there with no fighting, it's much easier to not. It's basically just hot lapping for 40 minutes. And so the clock I guess has run down. I always have to calculate the plus, the additional that we have in the beginning of the race. As this is not
I got the cross for that. I got 4x.
As this is not the full warm-up lap that you do, it's less than on other tracks, and it's also a small track, so. Yeah, and this is it. We've done it. P2 in this nice race. Yeah, not the race with big fights or anything like that, but for me a successful race, and also good for my iRating. Because I lost in Phillip Island, even so I was fast. I couldn't do it consistently. I had bad luck, pile-ups. So I lost basically 100 iRating. With this, the second race, I could get back some of the iRating. So this was at the end 1795 plus 82 iRating, and I got plus 0.31 safety rating, as I didn't do any mistakes in the quali or in the race. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.
Nice for the nice Mazda Cup race, boys. Have a nice weekend. Woo!